Today we discuss a topic often in the shadows yet vital for countless families: suicide and depression in seniors. Bringing it into the light is crucial for understanding and healing. This conversation is born of hope, not fear. Our goal is to break the silence with understanding and support. Join us in this vital movement for mental health and connection. Talking about suicide can feel daunting, but open, honest conversation is a lifeline, one of the most powerful tools for prevention. Asking directly doesn't plant the idea, it offers hope and connection. By talking, we break barriers, foster compassion, and help create a safer, more supportive community for our seniors. Suicide is a global crisis, claiming over 700,000 lives each year, each one a father, mother, friend, or neighbor. The impact ripples through families and communities, reminding us this is a shared human problem. Rates are highest among older adults, challenging the myth that senior years are always golden. By facing these numbers, we turn statistics into a call to action. Every life matters. Suicide risk isn't equal for everyone. Men, especially older men, face much higher rates, often due to isolation and societal pressures. Marginalized groups like LGBTQ seniors, refugees, and indigenous elders are also at greater risk. Recognizing these disparities helps us create more supportive, inclusive environments for those who need it most. Older adults face a higher risk of suicide due to life changes, loss, and social isolation. Retirement, grief, and declining health can erode support systems, leading to loneliness and hopelessness. We must recognize that depression is not a normal part of aging. Every senior deserves support and care. The reality of suicide, with its stark statistics and vulnerable populations, demands more than just our passive acknowledgement. It demands a proactive response. The first and most powerful step in this response is to challenge the pervasive silence and stigma that surround mental health and suicide. For generations, these topics have been considered taboo, spoken about only in whispers, if at all. This silence is not protective, it is dangerous. It breeds shame, fear, and isolation, preventing people from seeking the help they need. Our most important task is to transform this culture of silence into a culture of open, compassionate conversation. This transformation begins with each of us. It starts in our homes with our families and friends. We must become comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations. We need to learn how to ask direct questions like, "Are you thinking about suicide?" without fear of planting the idea. Experts agree that this directness does not increase risk. Instead, it opens a door for someone in pain to share their burden. It signals that you are willing to walk with them through their darkest moments, and that you are not afraid of their pain. This simple act of brave communication can be the lifeline that someone is desperately waiting for. Greater awareness also needs to be cultivated within our healthcare systems. Doctors, nurses, and caregivers who work with seniors must be trained to recognize the subtle signs of depression and suicide risk. Mental health screenings should become a routine part of senior care, just like checking blood pressure or cholesterol. When a senior reports chronic pain, loss of appetite, or sleep disturbances, these physical symptoms should be explored as potential indicators of underlying emotional distress. Integrating mental and physical health care ensures that we are treating the whole person, not just a collection of symptoms, and it helps destigmatize seeking help for mental health issues. Ultimately, building a society that is resilient against suicide requires a community-wide effort. It involves schools, workplaces, community centers, and faith-based organizations, all playing a role in promoting mental well-being and providing support. We need to create environments where seniors feel valued, connected, and purposeful. This can be achieved through intergenerational programs, volunteer opportunities, and accessible social activities. By fostering a strong sense of community and belonging, we build a protective buffer against the isolation and despair that so often lead to suicide. Our collective awareness and action are the most powerful tools we have to change the reality of suicide. To understand suicide, we must first understand depression, its most dangerous companion. Depression is not just sadness, it's a persistent illness that distorts thoughts, drains hope, and saps energy. For seniors, its symptoms can be mistaken for normal aging, making it even more insidious. 60% of people who die by suicide have had a mood disorder like depression. Severe or untreated depression greatly elevates suicide risk by making pain feel permanent and inescapable. Hopelessness, a core symptom, can make ending one's life seem like the only escape, not out of a desire to die, but to end relentless pain. Recognizing depression as a major risk factor is the first step in prevention. It's vital to distinguish grief from depression. Grief comes in waves and allows for positive memories, while depression is a constant emptiness. Depression magnifies every setback, making minor issues feel catastrophic. It robs resilience, leaving people vulnerable and exposed. This is why depression in older adults must be taken seriously. It's not weakness, but a treatable illness. Understanding its role helps us approach suicide risk with urgency and compassion. Treatment and support can save lives. Recognize the signs and act. Depression is not a normal part of aging. Addressing depression directly is a path to hope and recovery. Untreated depression is more than sadness. It's a corrosive force that can destroy health and hope. It worsens other medical conditions, making recovery from physical illness harder. Depression saps energy, making self-care and medication management feel impossible. This neglect isn't a choice, it's a symptom of the illness. Untreated depression can mimic dementia, leading to misdiagnosis and missed opportunities for help. Clear thinking fades and suicidal thoughts can seem rational. Isolation deepens, not from lack of caring but because reaching out feels overwhelming. This self-imposed isolation cuts off vital support, amplifying despair. The silence allows depression's lies to grow louder. Ultimately, untreated depression can become fatal. Suicide is a tragic outcome of a treatable condition. Stigma keeps people from seeking help, but leaving depression untreated is like ignoring a broken bone. It won't heal on its own. Recognizing the life-threatening nature of untreated depression is essential for timely intervention. Treatment saves lives. Don't wait. Depression rarely acts alone. It's part of a web of risk factors. A prior suicide attempt is the strongest predictor of future risk. Every attempt must be taken seriously. Family history of suicide or mental illness increases vulnerability, both genetically and through learned behaviors. The trauma of losing a loved one to suicide can shape how others cope with distress. Substance misuse, especially alcohol, worsens depression and impulsivity, making suicide more likely. The combination of depression and substance use is especially dangerous. Ongoing stressors, financial problems, illness, loss of independence can overwhelm anyone, especially seniors. Caregiving, bereavement, or chronic pain can push coping skills to the limit. When external pressures combine with internal pain, the risk multiplies. No single factor causes suicide, but together, they create a dangerous storm. Understanding this web helps us intervene more effectively. Vigilance and support are crucial for those at risk. Every risk factor addressed is a step towards safety. Despite the darkness, there is hope. Depression is treatable, and help works. Therapy, medication, and lifestyle changes can lead to real recovery. Seeking treatment is a courageous step, not a failure. Therapy like cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) helps challenge negative thoughts and build coping skills. For seniors, therapy can restore a sense of value and purpose. Medication can rebalance brain chemistry, lifting the fog enough to engage in recovery. Antidepressants aren't happy pills. They treat a real biological imbalance. A doctor can help determine the best treatment plan. Recovery is a journey, but it starts with reaching out. Families and communities must support mental health care and fight stigma. Treat a call to a therapist like a visit to any doctor. It's essential. Championing treatment offers real solutions, not just sympathy. Every step toward help affirms that life is valuable and suffering can end. Hope begins the moment someone seeks help. Recognizing suicidal ideation starts with listening, both to words and actions. Direct statements like, "I want to die" or "I can't go on" are urgent cries for help. Most people who die by suicide give some warning. Never ignore these clues. Indirect hints matter too, feeling like a burden, expressing hopelessness, or talking about being trapped. These are red flags that demand attention and intervention. Behavioral clues include putting affairs in order, giving away possessions, or saying goodbye. For seniors, these actions may seem practical, but in context, they can signal intent. A sudden shift from despair to calm can be a warning. The person may have decided on suicide and feels relief. This deceptive calm can lull loved ones into a false sense of security. Stay vigilant, even if someone's mood appears to improve suddenly. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, act. Open the conversation and offer support. Early recognition can save a life. Depression and suicidal thoughts often bring dramatic mood shifts. Persistent sadness or emptiness lasting weeks is a major warning sign. Emotional numbness or frequent crying can signal deep distress. Loss of interest in once-loved activities, gardening, reading, socializing is a red flag. This withdrawal isn't a choice, it's a symptom of illness. Irritability, agitation, or anger can also signal depression, especially in older men. A once calm person becoming short-tempered or anxious may be masking pain. Hopelessness and pessimism about the future are especially dangerous. The belief that nothing will improve is a cognitive distortion of depression. When someone can't imagine a future without pain, suicide risk rises. Listen for despair and step in with hope and support. Compassionate attention can make all the difference. Don't ignore these shifts, reach out and help. Depression can disrupt daily life in seniors, showing up as changes in sleep, appetite, and personal care. Watch for insomnia, weight changes, or neglect of hygiene. These are visible warning signs. Unexplained aches and pains may also signal emotional distress. These changes are not laziness, but signs of deeper struggles. Observant care is about being present and compassionate, especially for seniors who may feel invisible. The signs of depression can be subtle, small changes in mood or behavior that are easy to miss. Trust your instincts. If you sense something is wrong, reach out and ask. Noticing and caring can break isolation and show your loved one they matter. If you notice warning signs in someone, the most life-saving thing you can do is ask directly, "Are you thinking about suicide?" Approach with calmness and empathy in a private space, and listen without judgment. If they say yes, stay with them and reassure them you care. Asking directly breaks the silence and shows their life matters. For many older adults, seeking help for mental health can feel overwhelming, shaped by stigma and fear of being a burden. But reaching out is a sign of strength, not weakness. Providing clear information and support can make the process less daunting. By normalizing help seeking, we empower seniors to connect with the care they deserve. When someone is in crisis, knowing where to turn for immediate help is absolutely critical. It is essential for everyone to be aware of the resources that exist as lifelines in the dark. National and local suicide prevention hotlines are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and are staffed by trained counselors who can provide immediate, confidential support. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline in the United States is a simple, memorable number that can be called or texted by anyone experiencing a mental health crisis, or by someone worried about a loved one. Having this number saved in your phone can be a life-saving tool in a moment of panic. Beyond immediate crisis support, there are many avenues for ongoing professional help. A primary care physician is often a great first point of contact. They can conduct an initial screening for depression and rule out any other medical issues that could be contributing to the symptoms. A doctor can also provide a referral to a mental health specialist, such as a psychiatrist, psychologist, or licensed therapist, who can offer more specialized care. For seniors who may have a long-standing, trusting relationship with their doctor, starting the conversation in that familiar setting can feel less intimidating. Community mental health centers, senior centers, and local chapters of organizations like the National Alliance on Mental Illness are invaluable resources. These organizations often provide low-cost or free counseling services, support groups, and educational programs. Support groups in particular can be incredibly powerful for seniors. They offer a space to connect with peers who have similar life experiences and struggles, which helps to combat the profound sense of isolation that often accompanies depression. Sharing stories and coping strategies with others who truly understand can be a deeply healing and validating experience. The digital world has also opened up new avenues for support. Telehealth services have made it easier than ever for seniors, especially those with mobility issues, to access therapy from the comfort of their own homes. There are numerous websites and apps dedicated to mental wellness, offering everything from guided meditations to online support communities. While these should not replace professional care in a crisis, they can be excellent supplementary tools for building resilience and maintaining mental well-being. Knowing about these varied resources ensures that no matter the situation, there is always a lifeline within reach. Preventing suicide is about building a life worth living, long before crisis begins. Meaningful connection and a sense of purpose are the foundations of resilience for seniors. Staying connected, discovering new interests, and engaging in community activities help crowd out loneliness and foster joy. Together we can help seniors thrive, not just survive. Building resilience involves equipping seniors with tools to navigate emotional challenges. Simple coping strategies manage stress and improve mood. Physical activity releases endorphins, elevating mood. Mindfulness practices calm an anxious mind. These tools empower individuals in their mental well-being. Engaging in hobbies brings joy and accomplishment. Hobbies provide healthy distraction and connection to pleasure. Rediscovering hobbies reignites passion and emotional fortitude. Professional care is crucial when needed. Knowing when to ask for help builds resilience. Regular mental health checkups are key. Therapy provides a safe space for processing emotions. Medication may be necessary for some. Preventing suicide and building resilience is holistic. It combines community strength, individual purpose, and professional help. Creating a multi-layered support system withstands life's storms. Embracing this approach helps seniors flourish. We affirm their mental health as a priority. Suicide is preventable, and mental health challenges are not a life sentence. Understanding the risks and reaching out empowers us to save lives. Let's replace silence with support and stigma with understanding. Life is precious, and so is your mind and spirit. You are never alone. Help is here and hope is real.